Hey synth drones, today we're going to talk about synthesizers being hard work. Hi, I'm Pyramid Drone and this is my vlog where I talk about synthesizers. So if you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button so you can keep up with all of my synth adventures. So yeah, synthesizers can be hard work. Today I was spending some time in the studio. It was Saturday and I'm just kind of laying down the track, and I have a lot of gear, as you guys know. And it's a lot of work to route everything in the DAW and work everything out the way it needs to be worked out. And I was laying down different tracks, going through different synthesizers, trying to find the right lead sound for the track that I'm working on. And I got to thinking, you know, this could become very tedious at some point. And it was. The track that I was laying down it just wasn't doing it for me. And I had the bass going, so I had the rhythm part, I had the drums going, worked really hard on the drums. I had my TR-8 going, and what I did for this track is I was going to play some live drum and, you know, do some improv, but I decided, you know, I think I'm just going to lay down each beat, you know, one track at a time. So I took the bass kick, you know, the kick drum, and I laid that down. Then I took some cymbals and I laid that down. You know, you get the picture. So I laid down each one of my different kit instruments down. By the time I got that done, you know, about 2 hours passed by the time I got them laid down, got them the way I wanted to, set up the drum machine. And I'm thinking, man, 2 hours just like that, just for the drum section. But I'm glad I did it that way, because once I put everything together, I realized that there were some elements that I had to remove, and I did so. I took them out because they were each layered individually on their own tracks. See, that's the problem with the TR-8, by the way, is that you don't have multiple outs. So when you're recording all these different drum kits, guess what? You're stuck with the whole mix, right? I do know that it's got like, you know, out 1, out 2, and then 3 and 4. But what it really needs is it needs an out for each individual kit element. And I'm getting off topic a little bit, but the Behringer, okay? The Behringer, their remakes of the 808, it's going to have multiple outs. So I'm going to have to invest in one of those. Why? Because it won't be as hard work to do it that way. I could lay down the tracks, play it kind of live, and if I don't like something, I can snap it right out. But then after I got done with the drum track and everything, I had the bass, I had the drum track, and I had some little ad-libs in there, some little synth pads. I had laid down a lead, and I was trying to play the lead live. And you know, it's so hard to do that sometimes, and to get the timing just right. So I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to MIDI up the lead. So I went ahead and recorded a lead for the track via MIDI. And then I went in and I kind of adjusted my timing. I was off on some spots there. That's what happens when you're your workload is heavy. You're tired, making all kinds of excuses. So you guys can use some of these excuses if you like. And by the time I got all that done, the whole day is just about gone. And then I go back into the studio a few hours ago before doing this video here. And I'm looking at it, I'm listening to it, I'm like, I hate that lead. It's like I just threw it on to get it done. And I got to go back and I've got to change it. But thank goodness that I had it in MIDI, so I could go in there and I could change some elements up. And what it was about the lead was it was too monotonous. It was just too much of the same thing. So I went back and I went through all of my synthesizers and I found different elements. Now, this is where the sequential Prophet X comes into play. I went through every single bank. There's 4 of them on this machine. And I just went through every single preset, changing them around, altering them, trying to see what I could come up with. And I found some different sounds that actually worked fantastically, okay, for the lead part. And what I decided to do was I said, you know, instead of just using one single sound, one single preset that's been changed a little bit, for the entire lead, why not change it up a little bit and just add some elements into the mix? So that took a lot more work than I initially thought this whole track was going to come out and make. Now remember, I'm still creating the track. I haven't even arranged it. I haven't even mixed it down, you know, tweaked it with EQ and all of that stuff. And I would say that right now the track is 50% done. I'm going to have to spend at least another day on it to get it to where I'm going to be even so much as happy. But you know what? I'm lying to myself when I say that, because I'm going to have to go back and recheck the mix and see whether or not it's going to be what I want it to be in a few days. Because you have to walk away from your track. You know that, right? Us synth drones, we know this. You have to walk away from your track. Give your ears a rest. Give your mind a rest. And that way, when you go back and you listen to it, you could either say, wow, that was great. Or you could say, what was I thinking? So that in itself is a lot of work. But then, check this out. If you release your tracks like I do, I put them on Spotify, iTunes, blah, blah, blah. I have to make art for the track, and I have to do all the uploading to the track. I have to do the mastering part of it. By the way, I don't do my own mastering. I recommend that unless you really have the outboard equipment or in-the-box equipment and really know what you're doing in a controlled environment where you can do it. I'm getting way off track, but anyways, that's a whole other ball game. I use E-Mastered. It's the bomb. You guys got to try it out, by the way, and I'm not getting paid to say anything about that. This is just my vlog, and I talk about what I'm doing here. But then I got to go through all of that. After I get it mixed down, I got to get everything, you know, just perfect. And, you know, that's a lot of work. You know, and I use pink noise for mixing my levels, okay? And then I use Isotopes tone indicator. It's got this little thing in there. I forget what it's called, and I'm not in front of my computer right now. But basically, it tells me where my bass levels are, and my mids, and my low mids, and my highs. So I got to do all of that. There's a lot of work. Synthesizer music is a lot of work. I'm not telling you guys anything that you already don't know, because you guys work hard, right? But yeah, I don't think people really appreciate it. And you know, you don't have to just be a synth guy to have to work hard. But the reason why I think that it's a little bit harder for synth guys is because when you have a lot of gear, okay, you got to go through a lot of different things to find the right sound. And I know that there are people out there that do a great job on one or two synthesizers. Heck, even one synthesizer. It can happen, and it has been done. I like variety. I like playing with gear. I like messing around with synthesizers. I like having lots of choices. And sometimes too many choices is just too much. It's just overwhelming. But today, it was really a lifesaver for this track, because I was thinking, man, if the Prophet X does not come through, and it did, by the way, with flying colors, I've got all these other synthesizers that I can pick from. And I used the P6 on this track. I used the Virus on this track. I used the Micro Q keyboard on this track. And then when I got to the Prophet X, it just sliced through the mix. No matter what I picked, it was like, boom, this sounds like it just really hits the mix where it needs to go. Sounds so great. I'm gonna have less EQing than I think involved in putting this track together, but it's still gonna be a lot of work. And you know, that's what I wanted to talk about today. It's Saturday. You know, it's pretty late out here. It's almost midnight. And I put a lot of work into my stuff. I know you guys do too. I respect every single one of you guys. If you haven't already done so, hit the subscribe button. It encourages me to do these vlogs. And hey, you know what? Leave a comment, because we have some of the smartest people. I know I say this in almost every video, but it never gets tiresome. You guys have got to understand that your knowledge is important to people that swing by here. And there's no telling how long these videos will be up, right? A year, 2 years, 10 years, 20 years, a lifetime. People are going to be dropping by, and they are going to be reading comments, and they're going to be checking out what you had to say. And, you know, I want you guys to make it count. I want you guys to leave your knowledge and leave a footprint here on my channel. I do have some regular viewers. You guys are awesome. You guys are just awesome. And especially the guys, you know, and gals who frequent my channel and always leave a comment. And you guys, you leave detailed comments. You leave knowledgeable comments. It's just a bomb. And you guys are awesome for that. And it's a little bit more than what I want to talk about today, but you know what, it's Saturday night. I figured I would talk a little bit longer than I usually do. Anyway, you guys have a great night. Keep calm and synth on.